Welcome on in, everybody, to the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We're doing the 2024 Prelim Final preview for the Geelong Cats versus the Brisbane Lions. It's on Saturday evening at 5:15. Yes, you heard that right. 5:15 start on Saturday for this one, so don't think it's a night game. Don't think it's an afternoon game. It's in the middle. A time slot that they don't use ever, except for today, or this weekend apparently. Big game, Cats Lions. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the socials at All Aussie Rules everywhere. Thanks for joining us. Let's jump into this match. We're going to start off with the teams for the game. Only the one change for Geelong, which is Tom Stewart coming back in. Massive in for them. Zach Tui, the unlucky one, to get dropped here. Obviously was starting sub in their qualifying final win, so unlucky for him. Some really good players not playing for Geelong. Meanwhile, Brisbane go unchanged from last week's team that got the comeback victory over GWS to keep their season alive. Their team's unchanged, so nothing too exciting on either front really. No milestones. You'd have to think. It's just best team wins. Moving on to everything else in this game. As we said, 5:15 start. Geelong, they finished third on the ladder during the regular season. Brisbane were fifth. Since then, Brisbane have obviously won 2 games in a row to get themselves into a prelim final, whereas Geelong have the most impressive win of the final series so far when they demolished Port Adelaide in Adelaide in their qualifying final by 84 points. So it's hard to go against Geelong, is what I'm trying to say, based on that one performance. It was an incredible, credible performance that day. Their unsung heroes dominated. Some of their more senior players dominated. It was just a really clean and efficient performance to get the win. Meanwhile, Brisbane kind of did the same to Carlton in the first half of their elimination final. They were up by 60 points. Carlton did come back a little bit, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. And then GWS kicked away by 44 points on Brisbane before Brisbane turned it on in the second half and somehow clawed that back and won the game. So both teams in pretty good form. I think it's hard to go against Geelong's form due to the fact that they demolished Port Adelaide in Adelaide. But we'll see what happens. A look at some of the stats here in this one. Points for, both teams very similar. Points against, not too much of a margin. Brisbane actually slightly ahead on that one. Accuracy-wise, we've got the 5th best accurate team against the 15th best. So Brisbane not a great team in front of goals. Forward efficiency though, really good for Brisbane. Geelong's is very solid as well. Defensive efficiency, this goes the way of Geelong. They are very good at locking teams down. Territory battle inside 50 differential goes the way of Brisbane. They're the number 1 team in the AFL this season at getting the ball inside the 50 more than their opposition. So look for that to be a key part of their game in this one. Clearance differential. Once again, Brisbane on paper should probably be winning the clearances here. They are the better clearance team. Lockie Neal and co in there just dominate. Interesting to note, I think, in this one will be Oscar McInerney. Best ruckman in the game here. I would imagine he should go out and dominate the ruck work start to finish, you'd think. Will that happen? He's not the biggest ball winner or around the ground ruckman, but what he does in the ruck is usually very good. So I think he dominates the ruck here. Contested footy goes the way of Brisbane. Uncontested footy probably goes the way of Brisbane as well. Key point though for Geelong, they are the best turnover team in the game, as in intercept team, compared to their turnovers. They dominate it week in, week out, and that will be what they rely on again here, especially if Brisbane are to dominate the clearances like we kind of expect to happen. Geelong get that intercept and bounce it back really well, better than anyone else, especially over the last couple games that they've played. So look for that to happen again here. These two teams met once this year already. It was up at the Gabba in the wet, and Geelong won it by about 30 points. Poor kicking in front of goal from Brisbane, but a really good win from Geelong. But it's been a while since that happened. Brisbane have certainly improved their form since that point, but Geelong's form dropped off, but has bounced right back. I think, in all honesty, over the last 6 to 8 weeks, Geelong is the best team in the competition. Over the last maybe 15 weeks, Brisbane is potentially the best team in the competition, whereas across the full season, maybe Sydney in the AFL would be the best, and maybe Geelong second. So it's interesting how this is going to play out. It should be a cracker. Third time in 5 years these two teams have met in a prelim final, and so far Geelong have gone back-to-back in those two, in 2020 and 2022, beating Brisbane in both of them semi-comfortably, especially in the 2022 matchup. They smoked them by, I think, 70 points. So history is probably on Geelong's side. It's at the MCG, so that is probably also on Geelong's side. Brisbane's going to have to win 2 games in a row at the MCG to win a premiership. But this will probably be the harder one of the two. If they can win this, they almost go in as favourites in a grand final, which is crazy. Sydney probably slightly will go ahead of them, but it will be interesting to see nonetheless. That's everything I've got for you in this preview. Massive game Saturday evening. Jump down in the comments below and let me know who you think's going to win. I'm going Geelong by 17 points. It's going to be a cracker. Geelong Brisbane MCG Saturday evening. Don't forget to subscribe. We're past 50. Let's push towards 100. Thanks for watching. Catch us on the next one.